Hello everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Donna. Today we are making up a nice chocolate cake. I thought I had this video done already, but I guess not. But everything you will be needing will be in the description box, so let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. Get your two 8-inch cake pans, and I did line them with some parchment paper on the bottom. Just what I do is just cut my parchment, big old sheet of it, set my cake pans, draw a circle around that parchment, and just cut them out. That's the way I've always done it. I'm sure there's easier ways, but my oven is preheated, and I do have, like I said, two 8-inch cake pans. Now to this is a quick cake, guys, and it's an old recipe. A lot of you have probably tried it. Curtis, you want to stick that in the microwave? We just need that water hot there. Maybe do it a minute and a half or so. We want that hot water really hot, but that goes in last. And here's my salt, my baking powder, my baking soda, my cocoa powder, okay, my sugars, and we're just going to mix this up right quick. This is always my go-to chocolate cake. This is really good and moist. Oh, is it moist? Okay, just get this mixed up really well. Okay, now to that, I'm gonna add in everything else. This is my oil. My vanilla. My milk. And my eggs. It's just an easy, really easy cake. We'll get this mixed up, and I'm waiting for my hot water. Okay, we got that mixed up, and it's going to be really thick. You don't need no mixer, no nothing for this. And here's my hot water. You want that water nice and hot. And just mix that in. And we're going to get this in our cake pans. And my oven, like I said, is preheated to 350. Depending on your oven, go 375, 350. But the most important thing when you're baking a cake, don't open that oven door. Whoa! That went right over. Because a lot of times when people go wrong is when you open that oven door and then you have a collapsed cake. Even walking by so fast and kids running, anything, you know, it can make that cake sink in the middle. You don't have to sit here and beat this up for a long time, just until that hot water is mixed in there and everything looks nice and chocolatey. Now, I did use a good processed, Dutch processed cocoa. Those make the best cakes, in my opinion. But by all means, use what you have. But that Dutch processed cocoa sure does make a difference. Okay. Now, I'm going to even this out in my pans, get it even as possible. And I do have it lightly oiled on the bottom. And I even sprayed underneath the parchment paper. That way, we're really safe. Now you can just go ahead and start dumping, but you want to get this even as possible. So I just like to measure it out with my good old measuring cups, get them in there. But we'll get these evened out, get them baked up. I'll just go back and forth, 1. And these are going to bake between 38 to 40 minutes. Stick a toothpick in. If it comes out clean, you're all done. We just don't want to overbake it. You could start checking it around 36 minutes, but mine usually takes between 38 to 40 minutes. But we'll get these in the oven, guys. Okay, guys, now we're going to do our icing. I don't know why this thing's smoking, but okay. Here we have our melted butter and our cocoa. This is another one that's going to come together quickly. I have this on. I melted my butter. And we're just going to make like a gooey chocolate here. Nice and smooth. And I just turned my burner off here. See there, just looks like melted, yummy chocolate. But of course we know it's not yummy, right? There's no sugar in it yet. But I just mix everything right here in my pot. I'm not going to go dirty up no bowls, no need to. Now, I like a thick, this is like a fudge icing. I do not like to whip a lot of air into my chocolate frosting. So I just do it by hand, because if I start whipping it, it becomes too light for me. But if you like it really light and fluffy, go ahead and whip it. We're just going to start adding some sugar here. So this is our powdered sugar. And if it gets too thick for you with the whisk, just get a spoon and stir it. That's what I do. Then I'll add a little bit of milk. Going to add my vanilla. And what I'm going to do is just stir. Add a little bit more milk. And then I'll just add some more powdered sugar. You just want to stir a little bit of that up before you start adding it all to it. Now I'll go ahead and add it all. This stuff I could eat with a spoon. But you could definitely move this to the counter. I'm just saving on time having to move this camera. So we'll just do it right at the stove here for y'all. But you can definitely transfer this to the countertop. We'll add a little bit, but you want to go a little bit at a time with your milk. Now, I like mine very thick, where it almost gets really, not hard, but really smooth on that cake, but not real creamy. But I'll go ahead and mix this up, guys. Okay, my friends, that is all done. Now, see, this is how thick I like mine. See there? Just enough where it's spreadable. Just enough to where it's spreadable. And this is, once again, I'm using the Dutch processed cocoa. Now, you don't have to. Another good one is the Hershey's, whatever one you want to use, unsweetened cocoa. But a lot of times I'll use that, or the Ghirardelli is really good. Use what you have, as I say. But this is the icing we're going to put on that chocolate cake, and it's baking. Now, if this gets too thick on you as your cakes are baking, and then we got to take them out and cool them, just turn your oven top back on and just kind of let it get warm, and you don't want it to thin out too much. But that's where we are right now, guys. We'll get those cakes out of the oven and cooled, and we'll be back. Okay, friends, there's the cakes. Mine baked exactly 38 minutes. Now, like I said, bake it at 350 to 375. All ovens vary. I didn't check them for doneness until 35 minutes because I didn't want my cakes to fall by any means. So get your toothpick, put it in the center of that cake. As long as it comes out clean, it's done. But you definitely don't want to overbake your cake. So, like I said, ovens vary. So just keep an eye on it after 35 minutes. Mine took 38 minutes. So we're going to let these cool 10 minutes and we'll flip them out of the pan. Okay, guys, these been cooling for 10 minutes. So what you want to do is just go around your cake. Make sure nothing's sticking here on the side before we flip these out. And then I'll just take let me get my over here. Now you could flip this one up on your cake plate or your cooling rack and then just transfer it to your cake rack or your cake stand, however you want to do it. And then I just put this over top of it or your cake plate and just flip it upside down and wish for the best. But it should be okay. There we go. Then we'll gently pull this parchment off of it. And we're just going to let these cool, guys. I'll get this other one here. Flip it up. Go. And we want these cooled completely before we put that icing. You don't want that icing on hot cakes. It'll run everywhere. Okay, so give these, just depends on how cool your house is. Let them cool down completely. Okay, guys, my cake has cooled. We have that nice fudgy icing. I just flipped my cake upside down. This is the bottom, will become your top. I usually go in about maybe 3/4 to a cup of icing in the middle there. See how thick that is? Yummy. Let me get my... This will work better. And just get this leveled out. This cake is really good and moist. Now you gotta let it set after it's done because you want the cake to hold together. Okay? And just get it even as you can here. We're not doing nothing fancy. This is just a cake at home, but by all means, you can fancy it up as much as you want. I'm not gonna crumb coat, nothing like that. But you do what you like. I do just brush a little bit of the crumbs off the side that may be there. Just get your brush and just kind of go around it. And then we'll just top the next one on here. Kind of press down on that. That icing falling around there, don't that look good? And just make sure it looks even. And then we are going to frost it. Finish the rest. Let me scrape my icing here. Now, like I said, put as much milk in as you want, thick as you want. You want to whip it, but I just want to make sure that's even all the way around there. Okay, go in with some of that icing. Don't that look good, guys? And just let some of it kind of fall off the sides there. And you could put sprinkles on this, fruit, whatever you want on top of it. But me, I like it just like this. And just start going around the edges with some icing. And I'll continue to do this. Okay, my friends, I let mine hang out in the fridge for about maybe hour, hour and a half, just so everything sticks together. Now you can see this looks like fudge. And if your cake starts, you know, you don't like, because this icing, once you get it on, because how I say I like it firm, you got to get it on there quick because it'll start setting up like fudge on your cake. And if you want that smoother look, you could put some gloves on and you can even pat this. Just pat it because it's like a fudge. But you can see there how yummy that looks. Look at there, guys. It's so good. And we haven't had a bite yet, so I'm going to take a bite with you guys. And I ain't taking no small bite. That is so good. Give me some milk, Curtis. But there's the cake. You can see that in the middle there, guys. It's really a delicious cake, and I hope you guys give it a try. And to all my new subscribers, I thank you all for being here. go ahead and watch some of my other videos. You may see some yummy desserts on there you like. And I got some merch out there, and check out my merchandise for this delicious cake. Everything you need is in the description. Pour you up a cold glass of milk and have you a nice, comforting piece of chocolate cake. Who doesn't like chocolate cake, right? But until next time, we will see you guys later. Stay blessed. Enjoy the cake. Bye-bye.